So the project consists of porcelain tile lobby, where the lobby floor actually doubles as a 16 feet wide by 80-foot long elliptical swimming pool. So the lobby floor actually becomes the swimming pool bottom, so that you can use it as a swimming pool or raise it as a lobby area. The job is all mortar set, and the challenge is that the pool deck was made in Europe, and we're tiling it here in real time. They were making the deck while we were tiling. So the fear of the deck showing up and not being able to rise or lower without binding on the tile is truly a challenge. The second part of that challenge is, again, to co-plane the floor and the deck and not have a perfectly flat surface to walk across the lobby as if it's one integral floor. Those two components were a lot of risk, not to mention the waterproofing and so forth, because there is finished space below. The pool deck is floating on the water, and as it drops, there's only 3/16 different space between the walls and the pool deck. So as it floats its way drops its way and floats to the bottom, it was imperative that all the tile be on the perfect elliptical plane radius, along with being perfectly plumb. Otherwise, this 80-foot long platform would bind or catch on something. As you can see now, the pool's being lowered as we're speaking.
So the challenge in this project was not only the shape of the pool. Imagine this lobby being constructed, a bank of scaffolds down there, lifts up here putting glass in, a hoist right behind us servicing the floors, and we've got a tomato cage, we called it, a plastic enclosure that dropped us 10 feet down to the bottom of this pool to start. So our craftsmen had to not only lay this perfect shape out, but use a hawk and trowel, which at their age, in their 30s, it's not done anymore. It's an old-time practice of floating the pools. This is the only elliptical vario pool in the world
that has a raising and lowering platform.
This is the Capital One headquarters building in McLean, Virginia. And for this job for James Davis Company, we have performed a significant amount of interior stone paving and walls. We have about 80,000 square feet of stone all in all on the project. We're in the main lobby right now, which is a very large multi-story atrium, 70 feet. And we have French limestone on the wall. We have granite on the floor from India, with some inserts, which by the front desk are often called the piano keys, and a translucent onyx desk, which is backlit.
Each one of these stones was dry laid in Europe and numbered, and then brought out here to make sure that each one is in the exact locations.
The French limestone, the material is very difficult to work with, finding homogeneous color tones, and there's different geologic conditions that make it dark, light. So this is a granite and basalt fountain. The perimeter is granite, the inside is basalt. This is the sky lobby. It's a continuation of the same type of floor, same pattern, same sizes more or less. So the V-tile I was telling you about, this is one of the walls, for example. It's a 1 inch wide piece, about a foot long, and they're interlaced to create a repeating pattern. They're actually mounted together in groups, and they tooth together. So each one of the elevator lobbies alternates between this texture and the white Thassos Greek marble mosaics, which are little tiny cubes. This is the Greek stone Thassos, and it's mounted on a mold and epoxy together in interlaced fashion. No grout, pure white, and this occurs on every other floor going up the building. This was a lot of work. The challenge in fabricating these and finding the materials, it took a solid year.
We're standing here in the lobby that connects two buildings, both 16 stories, all apartments. We're about 100,000 square feet of window wall on the building. This is 18-foot curtain wall. The curtain wall is all view glass, so it's all dynamic glazing. The glass is in the 4 tint stages just for a demonstration. Residents, when they move in, they get onboarded and they actually have an app on their phone that just lets you go through the tints and play with the schedule. When you're inside the unit, you wouldn't know that this is view glass. Like if you looked at that window, I think that looks just like any other window wall. So we spent some time with Service again and Peerless, and they actually came up with a custom extrusion for the head receptor that you can, I don't know if you can see better in this picture, but there's a snap cover that goes over this. So in the future, if you did need to service, get to the cables or service the glass or something like that, it's accessible. Every single window has a wire, so then those cables route through the interior walls to the SJB, and then there's power and trunk cabling that goes from the SJB to a control panel. We spent a ton of time coordinating where those would go and figuring out how we could route the wires so that people wouldn't see that panel. So you've got the control panels on every other floor. They talk back to a main control panel on the P1 level. And then this whole system is powered by solar panels on the roof. It's like energy neutral, plus it saves energy. So Service Glass was actually installing a week per floor on both buildings, so they were like 200 windows a week on this, so pretty accelerated schedule. Horizontally, every window is within a 1/16 of an inch of each other, and vertically, every window is within a 1/16 of an inch of each other, because this facade bounces around. Like you don't have windows that stack on every floor, it's window, panel in some cases. So they had to be right on the money, because if you look vertically, if you're off even 1/4 of an inch, you're gonna see that, that window out of place. They did awesome. The craftsmanship that they had was just top notch.